How long is it going to take?
Welcome to AgriTalk and thank you for keeping it KTN Farmers TV. On today's show, we are going to talk about rabbit farming. And with me in studio is Evans Makoha, who is the Deputy Director Livestock at the Ministry of Agriculture. Welcome to the show, Evans.
Thank you so much.
When we talk about rabbit farming, most people think it's a new thing. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about the small history we've had with rabbits as a country.
Well, rabbit farming is not new in the country. Though we have had a lot of processes that we have done. Many people initially never used to eat rabbits. There are some communities never used to eat rabbits. And if you happen to be a young man and you are keeping some rabbits, even the sufuria you are using to cook the rabbit, it will be thrown away. But now, even those communities that never used to keep rabbits are the ones that are keeping a lot of rabbits. Mm-hmm. There are some communities who have had the history of even hunting the rabbits. What we call the hare, and now the rabbit has become very important in the country, and is one of the fastest growing livestock enterprise in the country, with a population of about 1.5 million, and the turnover is extremely high, and despite the fact that the rabbits are highly prolific, one rabbit producing around on average about 8 kids in one kidding, and the gestation period is also usually very small, very short, about 30 days on average.
Okay. Yeah. So how many types of rabbits do we have in the country? And which is the best to keep either for meat?
Well, mainly the rabbits that we keep in the country are for meat production. Mm-hmm. Though worldwide we have over 307 breeds of rabbits, but in Kenya we have the California, we have the New Zealand white, we have the Flemish giant, we have the checkered giant, we have the Chinchilla, we have the Dutch. Those are the most common breeds that we are keeping. And I want to say all of them are good meat breeds. Mm-hmm. So the medium breeds, I would say, are the Dutch, the New Zealand white, the California white. But the big size, the large ones, is the Flemish giant and the checkered giant.
Okay.
And they are all for meat production.
Is if I want to venture into rabbit farming, is it profitable?
Yes, it is. It's highly profitable. Though many people have not looked at it critically, or they have not ventured into it. But looking at it, when you compare with other livestock enterprises, is one of the highly paying livestock enterprises in the country.
Okay.
Yeah, because one, as I mentioned earlier, is they're highly prolific. They grow very fast. Between 5 months, they are mature for sale or for breeding.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So when I'm starting my rabbit venture, what do I need to know?
One, the first thing is you need to know: are you keeping it as a hobby, or are you keeping it for income purposes? Mm-hmm. If you want to keep it for income purposes, one is you have to identify where are you going to sell the rabbits. Then two, you need to build a structure. Depending on how many you are going to build to keep, and you are looking at the future, you're looking at the projections, how many do you want to keep after a certain period of time. Then you build the cages depending on the number of the rabbits you want to keep. We always recommend that maybe for a small-scale farmer, you can start even with 5 female rabbits and 1 male rabbit. That should be big enough for you, because within a certain period of time, you'll be having very many rabbits. And then when you are building, you look at the cage. The 1 female rabbit, we always recommend that you build like 3 cages, because immediately after kidding down, It will take 1.5 months. You wean them off, so they have to go in their own cages. And then when they go in their own cages, it will reach a point where you have to separate the males and the females. Yeah, so depending on the number of rabbits you want to keep, now you start building the cages based on that kind of information. But what is critical is, where are you going to sell the rabbits? The market is very important. So that you don't have the rabbits and you don't know where you are going to sell. Despite the fact that the demand for rabbit meat now is higher than the demand, the supply is not meeting the market demand as of now. Yeah.
Why the sudden rise in demand for rabbit meat?
One is the eating habits of Kenyans is really changing, even in the world over. When you look at the world statistics, they are saying that the per capita consumption of rabbit meat is 0.19. But in Kenya, it's far much below that, because very few people have appreciated the rabbit consumption. But even the few who have appreciated the rabbit consumption, they are not able to get it on a daily basis as they require. One is the quality of the rabbit meat. You may be surprised because the protein content of the rabbit meat is higher than that one of chicken. It's over 20%, almost 21%, because it's 20.1%, the protein content. The fat is lower than that one of chicken, is because it is below 4.5%, the fat content in the rabbit meat. And then what is also critical is the cholesterol level of the rabbit meat is also very low compared to other livestock species that we are keeping at home, domestic livestock species. And what is also more important is that the digestibility of the proteins in the rabbit is very high, highly digestible. And we always recommend it for the children, the aged, and the sick. So this is the meat that is very good for that category of people. And because of the eating habits of the Kenyans, which is changing, people want to eat more of white meat now. So the rabbit meat is the way to go.
Okay.
Yeah.
In terms of, earlier on you had alluded to, at the beginning, historically, some communities could not even want to see a rabbit in their compound. What has changed in these communities? What has led to this change in mind? And is the rabbit meat only consumed in urban areas, or also in those communities in our villages, the rabbit meat also consumption is picking up?
Well, in the villages, the consumption basically was based on the historical arrangements of people hunting for the rabbits. But now, where the people are keeping the rabbits, the consumption has also gone up. It is easy to slaughter rabbit, small, easy to slaughter, just like chicken. Now, the communities, maybe I may mention, the Kikuyu community never used to eat rabbits. It was only meant for the young boys, I should say. But now, the highest population of rabbits in the country is in the Kikuyu community. And the consumption of the rabbits has also gone up in these communities. They have embraced it as a business. That's why the production has gone up in those communities, and even the consumption has gone up. In urban areas, the consumption is quite high, but the demand is still very low.
Okay.
Yes.
When we talk about the consumption going up and the demand is still low, this opportunity that we are seeing here, how can the young people take advantage of this opportunity, having in mind the main issue that the young people usually have is the capital to start a business? How intensive or how or is it less intensive when it comes to starting capital?
Well, when it comes to capital investment, the initial capital investment is usually fairly low because you can start with very simple structures. Depending on your capacity, you can start with very simple wooden structures, which wood is available, timber is available all over. You can just start with those very simple ones with the wire mesh, which you can easily do. And then if you have the capital, then you can go for metallic wire mesh. And then you can also import the cages, and then you can continue improving on it. So for the youth, actually, this is where they should go. One, because they don't like agriculture per se, but now for the rabbits, it is not dirty as such. This is an enterprise that the youth can quickly go to. It can quickly fetch money because within a certain period, 1.5 months, when the female rabbits has kindled, that's giving birth, in other words, it takes a very short period of time. 1.5 months, you win them off. You can sell the winners. Like now, for instance, for us, we have a national Rapid Conservation and Training Institute, which is based in Ngong in Kachato County. This is our national institute that we breed the rabbits to sell to the farmers. We also do the trainings for farmers. Anybody who wants to do the training, we usually carry out a comprehensive training of about 3 days, talking about starting from the breeding, production, marketing, slaughtering, and value addition. All those aspects. We also have accommodation available. We can even do corporate training. So that's where we can support that's where we support the farmers as far as rabbit production is concerned. And maybe before I forget, we are having a training from 23rd to 25th of this month in Ngong. Those who are interested can register. And we do it at least every 3 months.
Okay.
But if we have more participants, we can even do it on monthly basis. And sometimes we do it on the need basis as the need arises. So for the youth, this is an enterprise that they can quickly go into because it's a clean activity. The rabbits are not stressful. Once you have kept them, I don't know whether you are youthful, whether you manage to keep us 1 or 2.
I had a few.
The local ones.
I had a few.
Yeah, you see, they don't make noise. They are usually very clean, unless it has a problem. Rabbits are usually very clean animals, and handling them with the youth, that will be the best. And this is also can be very good for women, even the physically challenged, because they are not stressful.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So, talking of breeding, what does it take, or how is the procedure of breeding rabbits?
Well, what I want to say is we normally recommend that one male can serve like 5 females. But sometimes people can keep even up to 8 females per one rabbit. Now, when you are thinking of doing the breeding, one is you have to do the selection. You select the rabbits that are healthy. You look at the eyes, bright and sharp, the ears erect, though we have some breeds that have drooping ears. Yeah, but we look also the hair, the fur is smooth and firm. When you look at the inside the ears, they are supposed to be clean, not with crumbs or something like that. Behind, it should be clean, not soiled or something like that. Or maybe it should not have defecated or diarrhea. Those are the main issues. We look at the foot, it should be well covered with hair, so that, free from disease, something like that. Now, the females, you also select them. They should be ready for breeding at the age of 6 months. Okay. Though at puberty, they start at 5 months. But we recommend you don't breed them at that very early age, so that you give them time to actually develop. Now, for the females, you can quickly identify the females and the males at a very early age. Normally, we use the vent. You look at the V shape of the vent, that will tell you that one is a female. But for the male, you will see something protruding at the vent. When you press it like this, you see something small protruding. That is the male. And normally, we recommend that you separate them at the age of 4 months, so that they don't, because usually they are of the same litter. The litter in the sense that they were born together from the same mother at the same time. So to minimize inbreeding, then you have to separate them at a slightly early age of 4 months. Then The males that you don't want to use for breeding purposes, then you either sell them or you can castrate them and keep them for meat production.
Okay.
Yeah, so normally when you do the breeding, you take the female to the cage of the male. This is so that the male will have the confidence, and after a few minutes you'll see that they get used to each other, then the female will, you see, ovulation in rabbits does not follow the normal cycle of animals or human beings. It is by contact. Immediately the female comes into contact with the male, it comes on heat. So when you take it there, after a few minutes, it will be on heat, it will be served. And it serves, you allow it to serve like 3 times or 2 times, and then you remove the female from there. Give it like 30 minutes or an hour, it should have done the job. Normally, to confirm that this has happened, once it mounts, successful mounting, you will see the male rabbit falling on the side. Or sometimes it can fall on the back, and then it thumbs around to prove that it has done something. Very funny, but that is how you can quickly know that it has done the service.
Okay.
And then if it can do like 2 or 3 times, that is okay. You can remove the female from there. And then you allow, you breed, you use the male like twice in a day, and we recommend you do it very early in the morning or late in the evening when the temperature is cool.
Okay.
After 30 days, you have the kids. Normally, depending on the quality of the breed that you have, the animal that you have, it will give you between 6 and 10. But we talk of average of 8. But sometimes high quality breeds, they can give even up to 12 kids. Yeah, so it will all depend on the management aspect and the quality of the animals that you have.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Evans. With that, I'm begging we take a short commercial break so that we also give time for some of our viewers who have not joined us or are joining us to get comfortable. But we will be back shortly. For those joining us at home, today we are talking about rabbit farming, and we will be back in a bit.
News. Oh my.
News. Allah.
News. Nothing in the whole wide world beats accurate, reliable, and real-time information. Thousands have pounced on life-changing opportunities and leads because they're subscribed to the Standard News Alert. Yes, the Standard News Alert has been sieving and getting Kenyans real-time, accurate, and reliable news on their mobile phones for 5 years and counting. To get up-to-date news and stay ahead of everyone, send the word news to 22840 and receive your news alert at only 2 shillings per SMS. Be smart, take the lead. The Standard News Alert. Stay ahead.
In Bishop Stortford in Hertfordshire, with cab driver Ian and wife Jackie. Their new 1960s 3-bed semi is almost identical to their old home. There's just one big difference.
We moved in here 2 months ago. The biggest problem is the fact that nobody's ever done anything here. It's like trapped in the 60s and the 70s. So it just really needs modernising.
Yes, but have they got the readies to get what they want?
We don't want to run out of money for our whole project, so...
Anyone fascinated by the natural world has probably wondered why some animals have such strange-looking sense organs. The elephant with its huge ears. The
family on your own property, it's kind of a dream job.
We all enjoy doing this, but it's a business.
Have to be profitable at it, some capacity.
Yeah. Hopefully Mother Nature cooperates and it'll pay us back.
You gotta be able to plan early. I mean, that's key. Maybe this is the field to hit 400. I don't know. I'm sure the hell gonna try.
Welcome back to AgriTalk. For those joining us at home, today we are talking about rabbit farming. And with me in studio is Evans Makoha, who is the Deputy Director Livestock at the Ministry of Agriculture. Before we took a break, Evans, you are telling us about breeding of rabbits. But again, most people usually think for you to do any farming activity, you need huge space. How big of a space do I need to do rabbit farming?
Rabbit farming is actually for the landless because it requires a very small space. If a female rabbit, you can give a space of 90 or even 80, 60 by 50. That's enough to have a female rabbit that you can keep. You can put there the nest box for the kids. And then you can have several cages, and you can have even up to 3 layers upwards. So in a very small space, you can keep so many rabbits. So anybody who doesn't have land and is interested in farming, rabbit farming is the way to go. It requires very, very, very small space, minimum capital investment, and highly prolific. It gives income, quick cash. As I said earlier, particularly this can be very good for the youth.
Okay. So it means I can also, it requires smaller space than a chicken business?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in other livestock farms we've seen or projects out there, there's been emphasis on farmers to keep records. How important is it? Is it important to keep records when it comes to rabbit farming?
Extremely, yes, because as I told you, these animals are so prolific. And if they are so prolific and you want to make sure that you are not doing the inbreeding, you need to know that this doe has given you these kids. And you see, you need to have to keep record to know that this one came from this female, this male. So that when you are selling also to other farmers, the farmer who is going to start keeping the rabbits knows that the father of this one was this type of breed, this male. So that when he comes back to buy another patch, you are not going to sell from the same mother. You buy from a different mother so that you avoid cases of inbreeding. And also for future, you want to keep the records to know which ones are good mothers, which ones are good fathers, because you are looking at the litter size. You want those rabbits that are giving birth to many kids. That is to improve your enterprise. So record keeping is very important. 2, income. When you are looking at the income, how much money have you gotten, from which breed, from which mother? You will also be able to gauge which type of breed at your own level that is giving you more money. At your own level, which type of breed or which mother or which doe, the female rabbit, we call it a doe, the male is a buck. Which doe is giving you more kids so that you are able to keep that line, something like that.
Okay.
So record keeping is very, very important for any livestock enterprise.
Okay.
Yeah.
In the big ruminants, we've seen they either put tags on the ears as a way of marking, and so that you can know which one is this and which the mother is. So how do you identify the rabbits? Let's say I have 600.
Yes.
Are there ways of marking them?
Yes, we do. We do what we call ear tattooing. Ear tattooing, you put a mark on the ear so that you are able to see. It has numbers.
Okay.
Yes, so you will be able to know in the record card. You should be able to identify that this one is coming from this mother, so that you are able to keep the record in the books or in the card, that you don't mix them up. Yeah, we use the ear tattooing, the most appropriate, so that you don't interfere also with the skin of the rabbit.
Okay.
And you don't cause harm. You know, the welfare issues are also coming in. You don't cause a lot of harm to the rabbit when you are putting certain marks. You have seen in cattle people putting branding, putting brands on, yeah, in some prime places where they also interfere with the skin, and that one is you are inflicting a lot of harm to the animal.
Okay.
Yes.
So when it comes to the feeding regime, what do we need to know?
Well, also the objective of keeping the rabbits. If you are just keeping them for a hobby, forages will do. Forages, I'm talking about sweet potato vines, cabbages, sukuma wiki, carrots. Those are very good for. And sometimes we have some shrubs in the farm, in the maize fields. After harvesting, you will see some weeds coming up. There are certain weeds that we use to feed the rabbits. Those are also very good for feeding the rabbits. But also what is also very critical for the rabbits is feeding them with hay. Hay, you give them at lipidem without any limitation. Hay should always be in the cage of the rabbit. It assists in the digestion. And actually, the rabbit is the only non-ruminant that feeds on hay. Yeah, so, and then if you are keeping them for commercial purposes, then you have to go for the commercial feeds, what we call the pellets. And normally, we give a ratio of, when they are young, after weaning, from 2 to 3 months, we are giving them about 50 grams to 100 grams. Then when they are 3 to 4 months, we are giving them from 100 to 150. When they are mature rabbits, we give them average of about 150 grams. And then if they are the female breeding does, when they are pregnant, because the nutritional requirement is also high, we give them about 180 grams per day. But you are splitting them into 2, morning and in the afternoon. Then for those ones that are nursing, those ones that have kids, we usually give them between 300 and 400 grams, depending on the number of kids that they have. But for this case, we are assuming an average of 8 kids per female rabbit.
Okay.
Yeah.
So also when it comes to managing pests and diseases, how is it done for the rabbits?
Well, for rabbits, what is very, very important is hygiene. Cleanliness in the rabbit unit is very, very critical. 1, do disinfection of the house. 2, the disinfection of the feeding utensils, the drinking utensils. They have to be cleaned every day. And then at least once in a week you clean and do disinfection. Once you do that, I want to assure you that over 80% of the diseases of the rabbits will be done away with. But sometimes we have other common rabbit diseases like diarrhea. We have the ear canker. We have conjunctivitis. Those are the most common diseases. We use drugs that in the country as of now, we don't have drugs specifically for the rabbits. But because most of these rabbit diseases are related to poultry diseases, so we are using poultry drugs to treat the rabbit diseases. Yeah, so once one identifies or notices something strange, because when a rabbit is sick, you will quickly know. Maybe if it is diarrhea, you will see at the back, it will be soiled, or something like that, it will be wet. Looking at the eyes, maybe they are crying. The nose, maybe you will see something strange. Or even the fur, you will notice that the fur is not that smooth. Then you have to seek for advice from a veterinary or a livestock officer to come and assist you in that kind of a scenario.
Okay.
Yes.
So also when it comes to slaughtering the rabbits, understanding they are supposed to have a slaughterhouse. I'm trying to wonder. I think I've seen one in Thika. I don't know whether there are others around the country. And why is it important to do it that way?
Yeah, it is important, just like any other livestock. You know, we are looking at this is food. And the food, we know you have to prepare it hygienically. So having a slaughterhouse is a clear way of hygienically preparing the rabbit meat. The slaughterhouse in Thika is actually not complete because it doesn't have the processing facility as such. The objective of building that slaughterhouse was to have actually it has the capacity of 1,000 rabbits per hour. But unfortunately, it was never completed by the national government. Now it's under the county government. But what is important is that I would want to urge the county government to complete the construction. The shell structure is there, but now you see what they are doing it manually. But you know it is supposed to be automated. So the processing equipment for automation is still lacking. And that is the only structure that we have in the whole country. And that is one of the major challenges because we need to have slaughter facilities in almost every county so that we don't have a problem transporting the rabbits for long distances. They get so stressed. And once they are stressed, the chances are they can die. And then the quality of the meat also changes when the rabbit is stressed up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Also during slaughter, what is the process?
Well, normally...
You talked about welfare issues.
Yes.
They also have their rights.
Yes.
And they need to be slaughtered or humanely.
Yeah, exactly.
What process is it?
Normally, you don't scare the rabbit. That's one. You hold it to give it that kind of environment that it feels free. Normally, we hit at the back of the head somewhere here. You have a small stick, you give it a tap like that. It becomes unconscious. Once it is unconscious like that, then you can cut here. Because when you scare the rabbit, it can easily urinate on itself. And you know the rabbit urine has a false smell. It will actually affect the quality of the meat. So once you make it unconscious, then you can slaughter. Then you hang it to bleed, and then you cut at the legs, because you'll be hanging with the legs, the hind legs. You cut and then you start peeling off the skin downwards. Then after that, then you can open it up. You remove the intestine content, and then you clean it up. You are done.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's something I think we forgot when we were talking about the feeding regime.
Yeah.
When it comes to feed conversion ratio, how is it for the rabbits?
It is very high. Yeah, because it's 1 to 4. The feed conversion ratio is quite high. Actually, in domestic animals, actually the rabbit is the highest. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So another question I would like to, maybe I want to start a rabbit venture in Bungoma. Where can I get the rabbits?
Well, we have quite a number of people who are doing rabbit production. You can get it from a neighbor. But if you are looking for the quality, our rabbit conservation and training institute in Ngong supplies rabbits to farmers. We sell the winners. Winners in this case, we are talking about 2 to 3 months at 750 shillings. That's a very good price for the farmer. Those that are about 3 to 4 months, we are selling at 1,500. And then mature rabbits, we are selling at 2,500.
Okay.
So, and this one is free for any farmer who is willing to come. If you come and they are available, you can even give a call. If they are available, you can come, you pay, and you pick them, you go.
Okay.
Yeah, so, and that is the objective of that institute. We also have other multiplication centers. We have one in Matuga. We have a farm in Matuga, our sheep and goat station there. We have rabbits there. We also have our farm in Witu. Also is keeping rabbits. We also have another farm, national farm, in Marimba, that is in Meru County. We have another one in Kimose, that is in Baringo County. All those stations, we are using them as multiplication centers. Okay. So after breeding them in Ngong, We supply them to those multiplication centers. Farmers near around there can get the rabbits from there. But still, we can still get the supply from our National Conservation and Training Institute in Ngong.
Okay.
Yes.
Another thing that I think maybe we would have mentioned is how, when you sell it for me at 700, how do I sell it to the market now? What's the cost?
Well, the cost now depends on the market that you have gotten. So recently, I was in Nyeri, and we met a farmer who was selling rabbits at 5,000 shillings. That's quite shocking. And most of those ones who are selling for meat production is different from breeding material. The breeding material is usually slightly higher price, but the price will all depend on where you are selling. Some are buying at 400 shillings. We have this farmer organization called Rabbit Breeders Association of Kenya, RABAC, which is running the slaughterhouse in Thika. They are buying at 400 shillings per kilogram of the rabbit. So if you have a rabbit that is about 3 kilos, when you slaughter, it will be 1.5. If it is 4 kilos, when you slaughter, it will be about 2 kgs. So it will depend on the weight, the live weight of the rabbit when they are slaughtering. So they are also selling breeding rabbits because they have, it's a group of farmers, very many farmers. They sell among themselves, and they also sell to other farmers who are coming up. And they are also offering a market for those farmers who are keeping the rabbits and they don't have any other market. We also have another group of farmers, also in Thika. They are also doing the same. We have a private farm in Kwale. It's called EO something in Kwale. I can't remember the name very well, but they are also, they have started selling rabbits to the farmers, and they want to go into contract farmers. They want to be contracting the farmers. The farmers, they sell to them, and then they slaughter and sell to the market outlets.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Apart from the meat, what other benefits can be accrued from rabbit farming?
Well, I will say that there's nothing you can throw away from the rabbit. One, the meat, you can make several products or eat as meat. Two, the skin, the skin of the rabbit, you can make a lot of things out of it. Warm clothing, you can make them. Female women purses, you can make them. You can make a lot of toys from the rabbit skin. We call it the pelt. You can make several products from the rabbit skin. Though as of now, a lot of it is going to waste because there's nobody who has come out to actually start buying the skin and making other products. Then you are talking about the head, the feet of the rabbit. Once you have slaughtered, those ones, they go into the feed industry for the manufacture of dog feed. When you talk about the droppings, the manure from the rabbit has high NPK values. It's very good manure, high quality. Actually, among the domestic animals, is the best, even better than the chicken droppings. So you can use it in your kitchen, in your gardens for crop production, and it is also very good for soil regeneration. The same case applies to the rabbit urine. As of now, people are selling a bag of rabbit manure. Let's say like that if you put them in the bag of 50 kg, people are selling at 200. Of course, it is not 50 kilos as it is because it is light, but in that bag, people are selling at 200. Now, rabbit urine, as of now, is going at 100 shillings per liter. The rabbit urine, you can use it as a foliar feed on your vegetables, because it is organic. You spray today, tomorrow you are plucking off, you are taking into the kitchen, there's no problem. Then as a foliar feed. Two, you can also use it as an insecticide. It's a repellent. When you spray on your sukuma wiki, you will not have insects on it. You can even spray it in the house The only challenge is the fall smell. If you want to chase away the mosquitoes,
Okay.
the challenge will be just the fall smell. But it's a very good repellent of insects, a very good foliar feed, and it's very good for soil regeneration.
Okay.
Yeah.
Also, growing up, we used to have the 4K clubs in schools.
Yeah.
And I remember I donated some of my rabbits to the school because now I didn't know what to do with them. I don't know whether there are still those plans to have with the new syllabus to reintroduce such programs for students. I was told it helps them be responsible.
Yeah, we have some schools which are doing that, but you see, no, that one is purely the responsibility of the schools. There are some schools which have come to us asking for technical advice. We have always given. You know, we give advice to anybody willing to keep the rabbits. And in most cases, most of our clients are actually people in the urban areas. You can't believe that because they are keeping them in the backyard. They won't make noise, you won't notice until you hear the false smell and suspected maybe they are keeping the rabbits.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
So, which other countries can we learn from? Can we emulate when it comes to rabbit farming?
Now, in our region, I think we are higher than any other country. And if I may mention that our Rabbit Conservation and Training Institute is one of its kind in the EAC region. Now, what I would want to say is in the US, in Europe, people are keeping a lot of rabbits. You will go to a farm, they are keeping more than 20,000, just like chicken. And the only difference that most of these are doing hybrid production. They are breeding for meat production. So sometimes these countries do not, you cannot even get pure breeds. And that could be one of our main, maybe if I mentioned, one of our main challenges in the rabbit industry, that 90% of the rabbits within the country have come, at least the origin is from our station in Ngong.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, so when you want to import the rabbits, you will realize that they are doing the hybrids. And for us, we want the pure breeds because we are breeding for the farmers. Probably maybe for the future, that will be the way to go, that we also want to change to start keeping the hybrids for meat production. And probably we need to now to start thinking of how we can go into AI for the rabbits.
Okay.
Yeah.
So also for farmers who are watching and anyone else who wants to start rabbit farming, where can they get information? Are there books that the ministry has produced before on either a manual or something that the farmers can do? And what are some of the challenges that the industry is facing as we close?
Yeah, we have this. This is a manual that we produced some years back. We still have very few copies. Of course, the challenges of doing the production are also there. We have shared with a few farmers that we have done the training with. So if a farmer would want to get information, we have the information in our office. We are planning, if we get the resources, we should be able to reprint more so that we can share with the counties, and even the counties which are willing and they want to promote rapid production, they can come to our office, we share and see how they can do the production for their own farmers.
Okay.
Yeah, now the challenges, you mentioned the challenges?
Yes.
Now, the challenges, as I had alluded earlier, is the supply of the breeding material.
Okay.
We have, as a national government, we are still having a few challenges of getting the quality material to import. As I mentioned, most of these countries have moved away from pure breeding. Now they are doing the production of hybrids. So when you go there, it means that you'll be doing it on a yearly basis. Because now for hybrids, it's like maize. When you plant, you are not supposed to replant it.
To replant it.
You
Yes.
have to go buy the new seed. So that is the challenge of going for the hybrids.
Okay.
But what I may say is we shall have to go the AI service way.
Okay.
So that we just import the semen and we start breeding our own rabbits.
Okay.
Then two, the marketing of rabbits is very challenging. A single farmer cannot sustain a market, because normally you go to a market, they will tell you We want 50 rabbits on a weekly basis.
Okay.
And the ewers are going to take 3 months to mature. So unless the farmers come together as a group, the group approach will be the best, so that if you are many farmers, you are able to supply on a weekly basis a certain number of rabbits. That will be one of the key issues. Another issue is...
sorry to cut you. I'm being told we've run out of time.
Okay.
And they need to proceed to do something else.
Okay.
I think we can, that's a good place to end. Maybe we can pick up this conversation later. Maybe you can give us a parting shot when from where you sit in the ministry. What do you think is the future of rabbit farming?
Thank you. As I mentioned when I started, the demand for rabbits is going up. The consumption of rabbit is going up. And because of the quality of the rabbit meat, that is the way people should go. And this is the enterprise that will be very good for the youth, for the women, for those who are physically challenged, and the elderly. If you have to keep and you want to feed your family, when you are talking about food and nutrition security, rabbits is the way to go, particularly for those people who have small sizes of land and have little capital to start with.
Okay.
Thank you
very much. You've heard it from Evans Makowi, the director, the deputy director of livestock at the Ministry of Agriculture, that rabbit farming is the way to go. For those of you at home who have been thinking of starting an agricultural venture or a farming venture, and you have small space, rabbit farming is what you can do for now. Until next time, that is it from AgriTalk. Goodbye.
We are done.